Act second. Scene the same except that the wall has disappeared. So when you move on to the second act, we don't find the wall that used to separate the two families. The wall has disappeared. The benches which were formerly against it are removed to the extreme right and left. There are a few extra pots of flowers and two or three plaster statues made of plaster. To the right is a small garden table with chairs around it, about it. As the curtain rises, Pasquinot is sitting on the bench to the left reading a paper. Blaise is at the back, busy with his rake. Blaise is the gardener. He is working in the garden. He is busy with his rake. Rake is a garden tool used to remove leaves or loosen soil. Blaise. So the notary comes tonight, Monsieur Pasquinot. It's pleasant. Now the wall is down. Are you living together this past month? It was high time. I'm thinking the little lovers must be happy. Monsieur Pasquinot, is it true the notary is coming tonight? It is pleasant. I feel very happy. Now the wall is down and you are living together this past month. It was high time. It's indeed late. This should have happened earlier, much earlier. I'm thinking the little lovers, Personette and Sylvette, must be happy. Pasquinot, raising his head and looking about. So you like it without the wall, Blaise? Pasquinot is asking the gardener, do you like it without the wall, Blaise? Blaise says, oh, now the garden is superb. The garden is beautiful to look at without the wall. Pasquinot, yes, my property has increased 100%. Poking a tuft of grass, bunch of hair or feather or grass, poking a tuft of grass with his foot. Have you watered the grass? And angrily, you have no business doing that during the day. Pasquinot is telling the gardener, please, my property has increased 100% now, the wall is gone. Then he pokes a tuft of grass with his foot and asking, have you watered the grass? Then he gets angry to know that he has been doing it during the daytime. Blaise, Monsieur Bagamin told me to. Then Blaise, the gardener, tells him he has watered the plants during the day because Mr. Bagamin has given him instruction. Pasquinot, oh, is it? Then it's okay. He seems to think that the more grass is watered, the better it becomes. Yeah, that's right. My neighbor thinks that the more grass is watered, the better the grass becomes. Well, take those plants out of the greenhouse. Pasquinot tells Blaise, oh, Mr. Bagamin asked you to do that. Fine. He seems to think that the more grass is watered, the better it becomes. Well, take those plants out the greenhouse. As Blaise begins arranging plants which he gets from the greenhouse just off the stage, you can see Bagamin enter at the back. Bagamin watering some flowers from a large watering can. Bagamin is seen watering the plants using a can. Dear me, he says, these plants never get enough water. Bagamin says, I'm watering these plants because I feel that these plants have never got enough water. To a tree, then he talks to a tree. Hey there, old man, he addresses a tree. You never get enough to drink, do you? There is for you. Okay, I'm giving you water. I'm giving you water. Laying down the watering can, he looks about him with satisfaction. So he feels satisfied to have watered all the plants after a long time. Yes, it's better now, very pretty. Those statues, there are decided improvement. The statues look very, very nice, splendid. Now the wall is gone, the grass is green, flowers look bright. Catching the sight of Pasquinot, he asks him, how are you? No answer comes from Pasquinot, how are you? How are you? Pasquinot raises his head and says, well, yeah, what do you ask me? My friend, why ask that? We see each other all the time. Now Pasquinot tells Bagaman, the question that you are asking is meaningless because every day we see each other because now the wall between us has gone. Bagaman, oh, very well, I didn't think about it. Same Blaze arranging the plans. Will you take those plans back? Blaze, not knowing what to do, takes them back immediately. Pasquinot raises his eyes, shrugs his shoulders, then continues his reading. Bagaman walks back and forth, up and down, finally sits down near Pasquinot. There is a pause, silence, nobody speaking. I used to come here every day in silence. Pasquinot laying aside his paper. I too used to come here. It was very interesting. It was most amusing. And our secret, the very danger was amusing. I know it involved danger, but it was interesting. And things we had to say of each other, we pretended to fight, and I called you rascal, you called me thief, or just think of the names that we called each other. Pasquinot, very interesting, isn't it? Bagamin, Bagamin, Pasquinot. Pasquinot says, see, look, something is lacking now. Bagamin, the idea. After a moment's thought reflection, yes, I agree with you. Funny, are you losing your sense of being romantic? He looks at Pasquinot and says, aside, tells himself, his waistcoat often lacks a button. Oh, it is a disgusting. Pasquinot tells himself, oh, look at the way this Bagaman dresses himself. His waistcoat lacks a button. He rises and walks back and forth. Pasquinot looking over his paper, then he tells himself, oh, this man looks like some immense beetle. He doesn't have any dressing sense. Look at the way he looks. Just think of the way he looks. He looks like some beetle, a huge beetle. He pretends to be reading as Bagaman passes him. So Bagaman and Pasquinot pass, comments on each other, but silently. Bagaman again tells himself, see the ridiculous way he reads, absurd, ridiculous, foolish way he reads. He is always in reading. He whistles and walks away up the stage. Pasquinot tells himself, oh, look at this man, elderly man, but he has no sense of manners. He doesn't know how to behave himself. He's whistling. Oh, heaven, don't do that. Whistling makes me nervous. Bagaman with a smile. Remember, the mote in your neighbor's eye, you too get on my nerves sometimes. So when Bagaman hears the advice given by Pasquinot, he tells Pasquinot, remember the mote in your eye. Think about that. Don't forget that you too have a mote in your eye. Think of the mote in your neighbor's eye. You too get on my nerves sometimes. See, if I get on your nerves, don't forget the fact that you too get on my nerves sometimes. A mote is a tiny bit or a very small bit of something, such as a dot or a speck of dust. This is a reference to a well-known parable of Jesus found in the Gospel of Matthew. The lines from the Bible are, why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye? Pay no attention to the plank in your own eye. How can you say to your brother, let me take the speck out of your eye, when all the time there is a plank in your own eye? So that means you are hypocritical. First take the plank out of your eye, then criticize others, then you try to remove the speck from your brother's eye. Bagaman is telling Pasquinot not to become a hypocrite. So Bagaman is trying to tell Pasquinot, instead of correcting others, he should correct himself to begin with. Pasquinot, I get on your nerves. Bagaman, you tell the same story 20 times a day. Astronaut, why? I never do that. Bagaman, when you sit down, you swing your foot like a pendulum, and that irritates me.